So before I even get into this, I'm just going to say now, this will contain heavy, heavy spoilers for Fire Emblem Three Houses. Watch at your own risk. I'ma spoil a lot of shit. It's gonna happen. Because in order to make this build, we gotta spoil some stuff. That being said, welcome to Fictional Characters in D&D Fire Emblem Month Edition. Today's character is the one and only Dimitri from Fire Emblem Three Houses. Let's hop into it, shall we? So before we even get into the build itself, just a warning, check with your DM before you make this build, because this uses a lot of optional rules. The first being a feat. If your DM doesn't allow them, you can do this build without it. The build's just not as strong. Secondly, this build uses multi-classing. Again, optional rule, check with your DM before you do it. If the DM doesn't allow it, you can't really make this build. And finally, we are using alternate starting equipment rules. This means we'll be rolling for gold, and then spending that gold to get our starting equipment that we want. Again, this is an optional rule. So check with your DM with all three of these before you just go and make this. That being said, let's get to the actual build, shall we? Alright, difficulty of build is medium. Why? Because we're going to be a fighter. However, we are multi-classing, so that's going to make it a little harder. Difficulty of RP, I'm also ranking it medium. Why? Because you got to be a nice guy, but you also got to be unhinged when you meet your mortal enemy. So you got to work that in there, making the RP a little more difficult. Pretty simple, though.
Is this some kind of twisted joke?
Alright, first things first, making it pretty easy. Race, human, not just human, as tried and true with these builds. Variant human. Gotta add +1 to your strength, +1 to your con. Gotta take the Tavern, Brawler, feat. We'll get into more of why we're taking that later. Boom, here are our stats. We're gonna have 16 strength. Why? Variant human gives us a +1. On top of this, Tavern Brawler will give us a +1 to this stat. Please note, I am using the point buy system, but you can roll for your stats and just use this as a base. We will have 14 dexterity because we need dex because we're going to be using medium armor. Con has to be 16 because we're going to be a beefy boy and we need a lot of health. Intelligence will be 10 because Dimitri's not stupid, but I wouldn't say he's smart, and we have done a lot of points to spend. Wisdom will 100% be our dump stat. Why? Because Dimitri is not wise. He makes smart decisions on the battle, so he has good intellect, but wisdom he does not have. I mean, granted, he is very perceptive, but wise, making rash decisions, he does. Lastly, charisma. Charisma is only going to be a 10 because, again, our other stats need the points, whereas I would like to have this higher, but I can't. So if you want to put ASIs into this later, by all means, go ahead. That being said, let's get into the background and class. If you have seen 90% of these Fire Emblem builds, you know what background we are going to go with. That's right, it's Noble. Noble just fits too many Fire Emblem characters well for the characters we choose for these. So yep, you're going to get the stuff from Noble. I'm not going to go over it again because I've gone over it 4 times now in this series. Fun times. That being said, our class, we are going to go 5 levels fighter to start, followed by 3 levels of barbarian, and we're gonna break that down now for y'all. So get ready for that tasty treat.
I've been looking for you. I will take that head from your shoulders and hang it from the gates of Emblem!
Alright, so to get our starting equipment, like I said, we're going to be using an optional rule for this, and that is roll up your money and then spend it on the equipment we want. because starting equipment for Fighter and Barbarian are not exactly that good for Dimitri. So instead, we're going to be rolling up our gold and spending it. That being said, I'm going to go off of the minimum amount of gold we will have, and that is 75. Why 75? Because you get 5d4 times 10, which is 50, plus an additional 25 from your background. So you have a minimum of 75 gold to spend on weapons and armor. So here's how the breakdown for this, and this will be in the description below. You'll be getting a lance for 10 gold, a spear for 1 gold, scale mail for 50 gold, two javelins for 1 gold, and then a short sword for 10 gold. You'll be spending a total of 72 gold here. The max you could potentially have is 225. If you get over 172, by the way, I highly recommend you spend an extra 100 to silver one of your weapons. That could be your choice. Do whatever you want. But the reasons for these weapons is because Dimitri primarily uses lances and spears and all that. The lance in D&D, though, kinda sucks. It's a one-handed weapon that has reach, but if an enemy is within 5 feet of you, you have disadvantage on it. So you want to be 10 feet away. But if an enemy is in 10 feet or within 5 feet, you may want to switch to a different weapon. Hence why we have the spears and the short sword. On top of this, we also take the 2 javelins, so that way we have something to throw. And then scale mail, because we cannot use heavy armor. Scale mail gives us 14 armor class, plus 2 from our dex mod, if we have 14 dex, which is why we took 14 dex. And giving us a total of 16 AC, which isn't shabby, it's not great, it's not bad, but we can't be using heavy armor because we're going to be part Barbarian. And heavy armor is not allowed with Barbarian. But yeah, if you get enough gold from rolling, by all means, silver weapon, I'd recommend either the spear or the short sword, but hey, you can do whatever. You could silver a javelin if you really want to. But yeah, that's that. Let's go ahead and get into our character now. Alright, so starting, level 1, boom, fighter. We're going fighter. Cool, get some cool stuff. Getting a fighting style. We're going to choose defense, because great weapon fighting doesn't work. That's what I originally was going to go with. Then I realized lance is not a two-handed weapon. So, great weapon fighting is useless. We're taking defense instead, raises our AC by 1, making us slightly harder to hit, which is good, because of the build we're going to do. Next, second wind. Boom, second wind. Kind of good. Nice. Level up again. Second level. Fighter again. Action surge. Great thing. Lets us give more actions. Awesome. Level 3. Martial archetype. Holy shit, this is when the shit hits the fan. Martial archetype. We are not going to do any in the PHB. So if your DM doesn't allow that, you're fucked. But I mean, at that point, if your DM doesn't allow that, your DM doesn't allow most of this build, so why are you here? No offense. Please stay. But anyways, martial archetype. We're going to go Cavalier. Why? Because that's going to give us a bonus proficiency. I forgot to say the proficiencies, didn't I? Yep, totally did. We are going to take athletics and perception. And then on top of that, our bonus proficiency, whatever you want. I would recommend insight personally, but you can take animal handling, or performance, whatever you want. You already have history from your background. But that's not why we're here. We're not even here for Born to Saddle either. Fuck that. We're here for Unwavering Mark. Starting at 3rd level, you can diminish your foes, foiling their attacks and punishing them for harming others. When you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack, you can mark that creature at the end of your turn. While it is within 5 feet of you, the creature marked by you has disadvantage on any attack roll that doesn't target you. Yeah. We're making it so if people aren't swinging at you, they're making a bad decision. And you're going to be able to tank that damage. So Unwavering Mark, pretty nice. 4th level, boom, ability score improvement. Do whatever you want with that. Personally, I would recommend strength. Try and get that to 20 as soon as possible, because Dimitri is absurdly strong. Like this man, in his support with Raphael, literally lifted a wagon full of supplies that was tipped over by himself. The man is a beast. So get strength up as high as fast as possible, but also do charisma. Do whatever you want, really. You can do it how you want. I recommend strength or charisma, though. Then you're going to go 5th level, get that extra attack. Extra attack, pretty nice, cool. Alright, awesome time. Fighter, we'll be back later. But for now, we dip in Barbarian. Why are we dipping Barbarian now? 6th level, dipping Barbarian. You got to make sure to have the right stats to multi-class into Barbarian. Do you have a strength of 13? Cool, you're good. Alright. Now you may be asking, why are we dipping Barbarian for Dimitri? Because Dimitri is fucking insane. And this shows his rage kind of well. His inner turmoil. On top of this, spoiler alert, in the Crimson Flower route, Edelgard even says if Dimitri was a normal man, he would be dead already. But he was not dead. That man took abuse after abuse after abuse. His rage literally fueled him to keep living. Which is why we're going Barbarian. Why? Barbarian raging means you take half damage from slashing, piercing, and bludgeoning weapons. But we're going to make it even better. Because we're going to go 3 levels, which will increase our movement, give us reckless attack, give us danger sense, and give us rage. All these things are nice. I'm not going to go into too much detail here because you can look it up yourself if you have PHP. There's a lot of stuff to go in there. But then we're reaching level 3, which we get our Primal Path. You know what Primal Path we're going to go with? The most broken one in the fucking game. We're going to go Path of the Totem Warrior. What are we going to choose for the Totem Warrior? We're going to choose Bear. Why? What does that do, you may be asking? Bear. While raging, you have resistance to all damage except psychic. Yeah, you just gain resistance to everything other than psychic while raging. Perfectly balanced. Don't worry, you have 2 rages a day at 3rd level. 2? Just kidding, you have 3 rages a day. And on top of that, since you're going to be using your strength to hit while raging, you get a +2 to your damage, making it so you hit a little harder, making your attacks even grosser. Then on top of that, since you're a barbarian, you're already 3 levels in, you also get reckless, which just means, yeah, I'm going to take advantage on this. My attacks all get advantage. Granted, my enemies get advantage on me, but if they weren't swinging at me anyways, now they really are. Because you're also going to be marking them every time you hit them, meaning they'll have disadvantage on hitting everyone else, and they'll have advantage on you if you're swinging for the fences. Oh my god, does that mean you are the ultimate choice of lockdown, making sure enemies hit you? Then after that, though, I personally would recommend dipping back into Fighter for the rest of your levels. You don't have to. You can do whatever you want after that. But that's how I would recommend building it. That being said, though, I'm going to call this here. This has been a lot of D&D stuff. And we're going to be back in like 2 days with Tiki from Fire Emblem Awakening. So that's going to be a thing. It is 6 o'clock in the morning. I am tired. I have been working on this for 7 days. Here's the build. Hope you enjoy. I'll see y'all next time. Farewell.